Agency in Motion Continuing Education Series. This is a series built and designed specifically for agents, producers, advisors, agency builders in the financial services industry. And today's episode centers really around second half playbook. Where we are in the year is close to about the halfway point. So what you want to understand is if you had a great first half of the year, build on that momentum. If you didn't have such a great first half of the year, reset. If you're fairly new and really haven't been doing too much because you're just getting into this business or this industry, use the second half as a springboard to get some traction and then get you into the third and fourth quarter and into the new year, building that pipeline of qualified prospects that are going to end up being clients, partners, or other pieces of your business. Right now, what you guys have to understand is that this is a great opportunity in history to do a lot of the things that we do. There's never been a better time in history to be a marketer, to be a networker, to be an entrepreneur. So if all the environment is right for this type of thing that we do, virtual business, marketing, networking, digital entrepreneurship, then if it's the right environment, it's the right time in history, all you've got to do is understand you're at the right place, the right time, in the right industry. Put the pieces together so that you understand how to take advantage. Because if there's no pipeline, if there's no clients, if there's no partners, if there's no communication or conversation, there is going to be no outcomes. If you have no outcomes, you can't really have a business there. This is a few years old. I think it's about $500,000 or so adjusted gross income in this country. So the reason I bring this up, because you have to have a motivating factor. And yes, the mission can be motivating. You can find things that are exciting about your business, but at the core of it, you're here because you want to get paid and you're trading your time for results. If you're going to trade your time for results, you might as well shoot big, because in order to be a top 1%er, in order to be have that upper echelon of income, you've got to be able to do what the other 99% want. And that's to be organized, that's to put in work, that's to have the grit, that's to remain, in a sense of optimism that the future is going to be bright for you. And then the other part that you need to understand is if you're going to do that, if you're going to do what the other people want to do, that means every single day you got to start being comfortable with being uncomfortable. That comfort zone is a great place to live. If you're scared of stuff. If you're not scared of stuff and you want the growth professionally and personally, you've got to get outside and adopt that 2% mindset and then go forward and attract those same type of people into your organization. One of the things that I think that we have to understand is, as an entrepreneur, somebody that's building a business on your own, it's all up to you in the beginning. However, what you need to understand is there's a trade-off. So what you need to think about and talk about with yourself is, what is your business investment? And the easiest way to make a business investment or to come up with that number is, what are you worth in salary or W-2 wages? Let's say that you say, hey, I'm worth $100,000 in the employee market. Well, that's what, about $2,000 a week. So that's your business investment. Your business investment, trading that for this opportunity, is $100,000. So one of the first things that you need to understand and do is come up with a plan of action and execution to get to that business investment. That's going to help you as like a target or objective. Hey, what am I doing? Am I trading my time for something that is going to be more valuable and have more to offer and extract more value than I would showing up and trading my time for money? So what is your business investment? And then understand you do have that in business investment, and go out every day with that in mind, that, hey, I've got to make X. That's my business investment. There are 4 types of planning in business management. And going into the second half of the year, you need to monitor and evaluate, each type of these managements and planning, because when you look at time management, this is one of our hardest skill sets for most agents to really master as a skill set, and that's time management. You either run the day or the day runs you. So if you come into the day and you have no plan of action, or you're not sure what to do, you sit down with your coffee in the morning, you're thinking about what to do, guess what? That day is already a failure, because you need to come into the day understanding what you need to do, your task, the priorities of those tasks. What projects are you working on? What are you doing with your time every day? Because that's going to have a direct, relatable factor to the end outcomes. If you're not managing your time, you're going to have little to no outcomes come in. If you're mastering the skill set of time management, watch what happens for your business. And then how's your energy management? If you're going to go in the second half and you're going to make a strong push into year end, you got to make sure that your energy is up every single day. Find something in your business to be excited about. Doesn't have to be the same thing every day, but you've got to bring energy. You've got to bring momentum to the marketplace, whether you are marketing to prospects, talking to prospects, educating prospects, working with existing clients. Have a high level of energy. People are going to be attracted to people that have a high level of energy. They're excited about what they're doing. Remember, people are going to buy into you first before they buy into whatever it is that you have on the back end as far as products and services. And then how's your performance management? Remember, you have to understand what you're doing, what that is producing, and then is that working for you? So what is the efficiency? What are your goals? How are you improving? What's the scope of your performance? Remember, having activity is one thing, understanding what that activity actually yields you is another thing, and then being able to evaluate that and fix the issues that you have for a free-flowing business model. That's what performance management is all about. What's working? What's not working? What are my goals? How close or far away am I from those goals? And inside performance management, a couple of things that will help you guys. I hate little goals. When people come in and they have like a minuscule amount of money they want to make, it's kind of off-putting, because I want to attract people into an organization that have very big goals. Remember, one of the reasons that you have big goals is that you can only give away from a surplus. If you're making 40 grand a year and your bills are 40 grand, you got nothing left over to give away. If you're making 250,000, your bills are 80. Guess what? There's a nice surplus there that you can do nice things for other people that maybe don't have the skill sets that you do, don't have this opportunity. And another thing, if you have big goals and you work hard to achieve those big goals and you fall short, you're going to achieve far more than you ever would by setting those little goals. When your goals are big enough, those lies and excuses are no longer an option. So have big goals, shoot for the stars, and then understand if you're going to have those big goals, you need a plan of action and execution that backs that up. And then another part of performance management is accountability, guys. If you have to have accountability to yourself and other people. Once you have it for yourself and you start to set goals and accomplish those goals, then it starts to build self-confidence. Self-confidence allows you to go outside managing you and start to manage other people. There's two views on accountability that we get. Like it's an alien concept, people have never heard of it, or just, nah, I'm not willing to do it. If you're not willing to be accountable to yourself or other people, then your second half of the year, as well as the first half of next year, the second half of next year, is going to fall short of your expectations, because accountability is a key piece of the recipe for success. And then you have to be dialed into the mission. Remember, everybody out there can tell you what they do. Most people can tell you how they do it. Very few people and organizations can explain why they do what they do. So the vision and the mission, being able to explain how you help people, why it's important, why you got involved with this mission, is going to be something that will help you in a number of ways, especially on the younger generations like the millennials. They're very cause driven. So you need to understand people are going to buy into you. People are going to buy into the mission first. Understand that, be dialed into the mission and be able to explain in a clear, concise, articulate way what the mission is. Why do you do what you do? And then daily management. Remember, those big goals that we set, those can be reverse engineered back to just daily activity and daily management. So as you're looking at your business and as you're evaluating your business, in the daily management, we need two things coupled together. You need action, you need the activity, of course, but you need intention with the action, not just random activity with random people with random results, but intention. Bring intention with the activity. Why am I doing this? What is the reason I'm doing this? The more intention you have and the more you can couple that with the activity, the easier it is to do things like build personas, get in front of the right audience, have a message that resonates with them, having them, raise their hand. Hey, yes, I want more information about this. Yes, I want to talk to you about this. And on the backside of that, with the intention and action or activity coupled together, you need to understand that along the way, there's stepping stones. Those targets or objectives of everything that we do, even down to an email. What's the reason you're sending out the email? What's the objective of this phone call? What's the reason or target that you're sending out this text? Everything you do, even small amounts and bits of activity, need to be measured in targets or objectives, because if you're hitting those small stepping stones along the way, those are excellent leading indicators you're going to hit those bigger goals down the road. Another big part of what you want to do and understand for a big second half of the year is just stop procrastinating. I see so many people, they're always in the mindset of planning and preparing. You don't have to know everything. You're not ever going to know everything. You need to stop doing this, because all this is, the planning and the preparation stages, are just veiled ways to procrastinate. So plan, prepare, but then perform. Go out in the marketplace and actually do the necessary activities that you need to do. Procrastination is the action of ruining your life for just no apparent reason. Procrastination is just standing in your way. It's an enemy. Just like time management, you have to understand your strengths, your weaknesses. And if you're a procrastinator, you need to put things in place to kind of check yourself and make sure you don't fall into that routine. And the way that you don't fall into the routine of procrastinating is just making action. So making moves, being out there, having conversations, doing the necessary activity day in, day out, that's going to build the pipeline. Action is the fundamental key to all success. There's no action, there's no activity, nothing happening in your business, you don't have a business. And then with the action, it's very important that you tier your activities. Some of the stuff that if you don't get done on a daily basis and you've tiered it correctly, that's okay. If you're not tiering your activities correctly and you're doing the unimportant stuff first, and then the important stuff like the income producing activities get left off to the side, that is a bad red flag leading indicator that your business is going to run into trouble. So yes, the activity is important. Tiering the activity is also important. And then concentrating on the stuff that, once again, you and other people don't want to do, put that at the very top. That's the income producing activities. That's the money making stuff that you have to do every single day. And then just understand those small stepping stones. It's just the repeated actions every single day. The small sum of all those efforts repeated day in and day out. I see people come into a business and they're like, got the pedal to the floor for 60, 90 days, and they just kind of, decelerate. You can't do that. You've got to come in with a certain amount of activity, energy, intensity, all the things that we're talking about, and repeat that day in, day out. If you have a start and stop motion in your business, what you're going to find is that over time is almost like you never started at all, because you're always coming back to the starting line, always coming back and resetting. Whatever you're coming in with, stay consistent. That's the key. And then understand that your activity, like we talked about just a minute ago, if you're tiering that, there's a kind of a fine line between what's effective and what's just going to keep you busy. If you're only interested in just keeping yourself busy all day, once again, you're going to neglect those income producing activities, and that has a direct negative impact on your revenue and income. If you're effective in your activities and what you're doing, working on those most important things first, then what you're going to find is that the way you organize yourself with time management, the way you organize your activities for the day, is going to be in a way that's valuable to you and your business. Get on the phone. We have all these great tools, all these digital tools, all this automation that we can use in today's environment, which definitely gives us advantages, but business is still done on the phone. So if you're not getting enough phone time in, then your learning curve just gets longer and longer and longer. So let's say you have to make 300 phone calls to get past a part of the learning curve, and you do one call a day. It's going to take you almost a year to get past that. If you do 100 calls a day, it's going to take you about 3 days to get past that. So it's up to you about how fast you want to get through this learning curve and become proficient in mastering what we're doing, because the quicker you get to proficiency, the quicker you get to mastering what you do, the easier it is to attract the people and be able to train, support, coach, and mentor them to independence. And just like franchise-like opportunities in this industry, we do get paid to lead sales organizations. And your leads, I hear so many people argue about what's the best market. You shouldn't be arguing about what is the best market. You should be tapping into every single market that's available. That's the warm market, the common market, social media, cold market. There's different ways to get in front of these different markets. And we talked about that before. But what you need to understand is that the combination, just like you talk to your clients about retirement, can have a one-legged retirement stool, can have a one-legged marketing plan. It's going to fall short. 4 legs, understanding the legs, getting in front of those markets with the right message is very, very important, that you're able to do that and then teach other people. Second half playbook at the very top of the list. You're in the contact business, guys. So just like we talked about, the learning curve on the phone, this is where you're going to get business done. This is how you build your pipeline. This is how you get booked meetings. Sales is contact sport. So who are you contacting today? Once again, if you're not contacting anybody and then you're looking at the lack of revenue and income in your business, that's the reason why. Because at the top, you got to be massive in your action. If you want to make big money, you want to get past the learning curve quickly, you want to build a 6-7 figure business, just have massive activity on the front side. And then understand how to disqualify, how to get rid of conversations that have no value for you. Most people live in what's called the herd mentality. The herd mentality is always wrong. They always think they're right. So nothing is gained by arguing with fools. Nothing can be gained by reasoning with ignorant people. If somebody's part of the herd, they're not getting your message, they're not understanding what you're saying, they have a fixed mindset, they're not in the type of people that are wanting, able, and willing to be helped, move on. Don't argue with them, because as you argue with people, it's going to hurt your energy for the day. It's going to hurt your demeanor for the day, and it's going to come out in your own conversations. Somebody doesn't get what you're trying to convey, move on as quickly as possible. And then remember, guys, there's a difference between marketing and networking. I think, the direct marketing and things like the cold market or whatever you're doing is fine. When you're looking at building your business, one of the art forms you need to understand outside of mastering the art of communication is mastering the art of networking. Because if you're just talk to other people about what they do, how they like it, how long they've been doing it, you just ask people questions. People love to talk about themselves. And when they start talking about themselves, we've discussed this before, that information that they're relaying gives you a problem. Now you can come in at the right point of the conversation with a solution and an action step. Just show interest in other people, and that's going to build interest in what you do. And you need to follow a schedule. There's a communication strategy, you have an online strategy, you have your main information coming from a site, and you have your social media strategy. Understand that your all-inclusive communication strategy has different moving parts and how they all work with each other to form an online presence and strategy that's going to create general interest that you whittle down into more concerted interest, dealing with the right people. Be obsessed with next action steps. Everything you do, remember, you have to have targets or objectives, the calls, the emails, the meetings. What are you trying to get out of it? And don't leave things up to the other side. The more stuff you leave up to the other side, worse your business is going to get. The more stuff that you take control of, the better your business will be. Don't leave action steps over to the other side. Make sure that day in, day out, as you're doing the stuff you need to do for your business, that you are obsessed with next action steps and you are setting those at the end of the meeting, at the end of the call, to make sure that the cycle of communication, if appropriate, is going to continue. Lead generation is one thing. Resolving leads is the other. If you get into the habit of creating and resolving leads and not getting emotional about it, just understanding you're sorting people to find the right people, your business becomes very, very easy. If you're not talking to the right people, if the leads that you're creating are just random, if you're not following up, you're going to find that the disorganization of your approach will absolutely destroy your business. So lead generation and lead resolution create outcomes. Those outcomes will be good, bad, or ugly, but over the course of the time, you're going to create positive outcomes. And through that process, you're going to start to understand how to fix things in the pipeline, whether it's communication, whether it's the material that's going out, to better your persona and better those leads that are coming in. Fortune's in the follow-up. If you want to know what separates a $50,000 earner in this industry from a $500,000, a lot of that's going to be the follow-up. So you need to get on your leads. You need to get on them as quickly as possible. And you need to learn, like I said, to get in the habit of creating and resolving leads, not getting emotionally attached to any lead. That's what happens when you don't have enough leads come in. When you do, you're just resolving them. The quicker you can resolve them, the better. Connect the dots in the conversation. You want to have a big second half of the year, learn the art of communication and connecting the dots to do what? Disqualify the people that need to be disqualified. And then on the other side, the people that are qualified, help identify, what is the motivating factor? What is the pain point? How do we avoid getting there? How do we get there? How do you fit in the conversation? Remember, connecting the dots is really about where are they now? Where they want to be in the future? How are they going to get there? And then a secondary side point, how do you fit into that scenario? You're building an online business. So when you're building an online business, what you have to understand is that, we're all our own business. So we have to regulate, we have to, make sure that we're in there every day with energy, intensity, time management. But also as you're building your business, you're not looking for the employee mentality. You're looking for the self-employed, the business owner mentality, because what we have here, we have the infrastructure, we have the mission, we have everything in place. You're looking for people that can help you with that nationwide distribution. If they don't have the entrepreneur mindset, probably what they're going to do in this type of situation is not much. They're going to sit on their hands, twiddle their thumbs, and say, hey, you know what? This just isn't working for me. You ultimately want to yourself become a top performer and then attract top performers or attract people that you can mold into high or top performers. If your business can, weed out low performers, weed out average performers, what you're going to find is that your agency build out won't be so robust in terms of the people coming in, but it will be robust in terms of the production, retention, activity of those people. So you're trying to squeeze out the middle, get rid of the low performers, take the average performers and either push them out or create high performers. Obviously, we all want to be high performers. That's where the success is. That's where the growth is. That's where the money is. Learn to be that yourself and then teach other people how to be that. As you're attracting people, remember, we just talked about this. There's no such thing as the best market. They're all good markets. They have different approaches, but what you need to understand, it's a cycle. As you're attracting people off social media, as you're attracting people off the common market or cold market, they have networks. They have existing relationships, friendships. And if you do the right thing and they recognize value, then all you've got to do is open up their warm market. Once again, if value is there, it's been recognized from the other side, you can open up that conversation. Who else do you know and care about that needs access to this information? Remember, your contacts, that daily activity that you're doing every single day, being in the contact business, is attracting both business partners and clients. Those business partners and clients are going to come through the contacts. So contacts are like bricks for building what you want. Once again, going back to the phone call, if you're making one a day versus 100 a day, if you're putting one brick in the building structure a day versus many bricks, it's going to, have a direct impact on how long it takes you to get that built. In an agency build out, most of the time, what we tell you is that 10 clients, 10 partners coming through a branch office is a good month. That'll get things really moving. But what you have to understand about that is you're leading by example and you have a piece of that pie that you're specifically responsible for. And that's basically 30% of that pie. You need to be responsible for 3 clients and 3 partners coming in your organization every month. If so, that's the 30%. People are going to see you working. People are going to see you doing your part, and you're going to lead by example. On the other side, if you're not leading by example, you're not doing what you do, and you fall short of this every month, and that's on you. People are going to start to see that. They're going to start to see, well, this guy's not performing. Why am I going to follow his lead? You have to build the sales pipeline. And this is all we talk about, building the pipeline with the persona that, that you get along with, that you speak their language. That's very, very important. But inside that sales pipeline, one of the things that you want to do going into the second half of the year is identify and remove roadblocks. So if you've got something in the marketing communication, you've got something in the sales pipeline, you've got something wherever it is in that pipeline, that from lead generation to the outcomes, if there's a roadblock there, there's something holding up the process, or a lot of people are getting stopped at a certain point, then identify that roadblock and, let's, get rid of that roadblock so you have a free-flowing business model. And you've got to get used, like I said, with being uncomfortable. Get out of your comfort zone. Wake up the sleeping giant in you. We've got a great business. We're in a great industry, at a great time in history to go out and help a lot of people. But you have to understand that's going to come from getting outside your comfort zone. And the skill set of having discomfort in your life is a huge advantage. And it's thought about as being a disadvantage, but it's really not. You cannot skip the steps to success. And one of the things that you have to keep telling yourself, it's a process. Trust the process. You don't go from zero to $250,000 business, $500,000 business, 7-figure business overnight. It takes time. And through that time, intention, action, targets, or objectives, all the things that we've been talking about today, they're going to lead to success. And then also understand going into the second half of the year, what do your clients want from you? They want confidence, they want commitment, and they want the correct tools. You're helping them plan for the best, but also prepare for the worst. So we have answers to whatever life throws at us. And you have to understand that a psychological objection, a fixed mindset, when they say things like, let me think about it, all they're asking you to do is, hey, can I please stop thinking about it right now? So you have to understand the psychological objections of a fixed mindset when you're talking to people and help them work that through that, helping them understand. You just have to get out of your own way. And once you do, things will start falling into place. You're a problem solver. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as someone who's dealing with people's finances and money, a lot of times every day you're just solving problems. So if you're understanding as an entrepreneur, part of your day and most of your day is just solving problems, then do not dwell inside the problem. Don't allow other people to dwell inside the problem. You're looking for the solution. Be a solutions-based advisor, be a solutions-based coach, and be a solutions-based builder. You can make a big impact and you can make big money in this industry, but you need courage. If you understand the mission and you understand what you're trying to do and what that can do for your clients, yourself, and your partners, then you need to have the courage to go out and be seen and be heard in the marketplace. You are looking for partners and teammates, not spectators. We don't need people to come in and fill up the stands and just watch us work. Champions don't show up to get everything they want. They show up to give everything they have. So once again, as you're looking for people, one of the things that will help you in the second half of this year and going forward is understanding, is somebody interested in this or is somebody committed to this? Because there's a difference between interest and commitment, and really to see something out to the end point and to have that grit, they got to be committed. Building and learning is going to be the 1-2 combination punch for success. If you keep learning and you keep building, those two things like combination punches are really going to build up a significant business for you and allow you to be that person that people gravitate to, are attracted to, both on the partner and the client side. The big success secret, just compressed time frames. Remember, a lot of people set annual goals, and that gives you an opportunity to kick the can down the road, as well as when you start seeing later in the year, you're not going to reach those goals, you start to water them down, you start to change them. Don't do that. Think in terms of smaller compressed time frames, collapse your activity, go on what we call 90-day madman cycles, take action at the speed of instruction. And unless you are aggressive, everything that you bring to the table is going to be wasted. All of this boils down to 2 words. Massive action is what you need to take, because if you come into this business and you're writing your own script, you've won before you started. So if you understand where you are now, where you're trying to get to, you have a legitimate path, just like what we do for the clients as a partner, all you got to do is execute to get there. What does it take to be a champion? You have to have desire, dedication, determination, concentration, the will to win. If you're talking to people and evaluating talent coming into your organization, you have to be able to talk to them about certain things. And some of those is the expectations of a partner coming in your organization. What is it that they should expect from you? What is it that you expect from them? And once again, do those expectations meet in the middle to make a commitment from both sides? And then finally, guys, our business model, what we're trying to do is we're not giving people what they think they want. We're giving them something they never thought was possible. And once you start to understand what we can do for people, once again, that is going to give you the courage based on the mission of helping people to go out and do what you need to do daily. Have the activity, have the intention, set targets or objectives, set goals, be excited about your business, and just go all out with massive action. Agency in motion, building, operating, and executing agencies in the 21st century.